Honourable Megan Woods.
Mr. Chairman, a question for the Minister and the Chair. He said one of the problems that New Zealand's energy sector faces that this bill is seeking to rectify is the fact that it takes so long to get a consent for a renewable energy project. Could the Minister please tell the House how many megawatts of consented but unbuilt renewable energy projects there are in New Zealand?
Well, it's nothing to do with the bill, but I'm happy to answer it. As the member knows, there are thousands of megawatts that are consented but unbuilt. But as she and I have had discussions about before, some of those projects will likely never be built because they're not economic in the current form that they're in, or their consents have expired, or they're very old. They've got very old conditions. They are currently consented, but just because something's consented doesn't necessarily mean it gets built. The point is you need yes, but as I've just said, the conditions on the consents may render the project so uneconomic that it may never be built. The point is you need a massive pipeline of thousands of megawatts of consented pathways into the future. It is impossible to build that pipeline under our current RMA settings. It's not just me who thinks this, by the way. The Infrastructure Commission has outlined, and in fact, under the previous government, the Infrastructure Commission commissioned a report done by Sense Partners, from memory, I think it was 2022, which makes the point that under our current environmental resource consent settings, it is impossible to meet the electrification pathway that we could otherwise be on as a country, in which we transform the economy through mass electrification of industrial heat and transport and all of the things that we all want to do in this parliament. It is impossible to do that with the current RMA. There is widespread consensus around that. So the answer is to fix the RMA. I agree with you. Fast track is an important part of that. It's not the only answer, but it's an important part of that.
Mr. Chairman.
Megan Woods.
Mr. Chairman, of course, the Labour Party fully acknowledges the importance of having renewable electricity projects in fast-track legislation. In fact, I think we put through our fast-track legislation more than the equivalent of 2 Clyde Dams worth of renewable energy projects. But my question for the Minister and the Chair is how many of the consented but not built renewable energy projects fall under the umbrella of unlikely to be built? We fully acknowledge the need to have a large pipeline of projects that come through and to be continually filling up that pipeline. And that is exactly why we set up our COVID fast-track legislation to be able to do that. But it is possible, Mr. Chairman, as we demonstrated, to not completely ignore the environment when you're doing this, to have proper environmental protections in there. So the Minister is claiming one of the reasons we need to do this is to keep filling the pipeline because there are so many consents that are there that can't be built because they may be out of date or whatever. What is the number of that? What is the problem that he is working to rectify?
Mr. Chair.